Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Thursday, July 28. And I guess I've never really been happier to be wrong, actually, because the big bearish count that we were looking at, monitoring as wave 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and then down for 1 here, and then coming back for 2 over here, that's not looking so good at the moment. So let's just go in and take a closer look at this. The leg down here took what time it took, but I always figured that after we got past this wave A here, all this over here it's too big for wave 2, in terms of the amplitude of it, and the time of it and so on, compared to this particular wave 1, especially when we were in like wave the third of the third of the third here. It would normally be even shorter. Wouldn't even, when you get to the third of the third of the third, you're lucky if it pulls back to the 50%, let alone the 61.8%. And now we're sort of looking at I'm just taking it to the max here. So now we're looking at this 78.6, not there yet, but that's where we'll be, close to the 4-1 there, and that'll be the same on the SPY as well. 61.8% is here. So normally when you're in the third of the third of the third, you'd be lucky to get back to 40%, and then drop from that point. So, it's sort of been, this count, as I mentioned right from the get-go, was from Elliott Wave International, and we thank them for that count, because it was a little bit sort of scary to look at that, and and I thought to myself, well, it's possible, yeah, so I thought we'd better monitor it and so on. And it's not that it's totally finished just yet, but it just why I'm so happy is that, not because somebody's right or wrong. I appreciate and love all ideas. I love talking about ideas. I'd rather talk about ideas than people, and it's not about being right or wrong. This was a count that would have destroyed the community, like big time. I understand that the market can certainly go sideways for a long time, and that normally happens when you've got the wrong political party in, like the Russians or the Chinese in their markets are in massive big triangles that have been going sideways for years on years. And when you come to ours, not to say that but there is issues around the globe which are problems for capitalism in many different ways. So for the market to travel sideways would be a fundamental, reasonable sort of story. But it's just so nice to be able to get rid of this 1 2 1 2 and 1 2 here, because this move here, I thought about it this morning and so on, about having this as 1 2 3 4 and 5 up to here, but I just don't think that's the case. I think it's better suited back putting this wave 3 4 and 5 back over here. And the reason for that is just simply from the NASDAQ. You see how far this pulled back? It really sort of sat on support there nicely, but with the NASDAQ it pulled back into the 50% area here, so it can't be a wave 4 over here. We'll talk about the NASDAQ in a moment. We were looking for 5 waves down. We didn't get them. We only ended up getting 3 waves down. So anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. But so this kind of this situation would have to leave wave C of 2 here. Now, what else could be done to still have wave 2 here based on that little move there? Could you just have to start changing it to a WXY? I mean, I think that I don't even know if I want to do that. It's kind of like it's just a sign of desperation, I think, if I have to do that. Because I could put this here as another A wave here, and a B wave and a C wave up. It's just not working. And if I put it as a WXY, then I've got to count 5 waves in the W, and it just sort of, which is okay, but a bit unusual. But So yeah, it's just not fitting here. So I'm just about ready to ditch this wave, this whole sequence of ones and twos, which I'm really pleased about, because you know, it would just destroy the global community. You know, just but it just really shocking. But that said, what I want to see next is, I want to see, it's not that we can't go lower, it just takes away this count, okay? It takes away a devastating count, and I'm just so pleased about that. But what I want to see here now is, I want to see that 4,000 as support. So this is the 4,000 across here. We've got the arrival, the reaction. So we've got those in place already, and now we're heading up here. In fact, we're above the 4,000. We're up here somewhere. We've got a bit more to go, and then we'll come back down here, and then we'll sit back over here. So we want this situation. This is where we'll go long from over here. Don't think you're missing anything. So with this pattern, we're here at the moment, right? This is where we are right here. So let's just go back in and have a look at that. So we've got the arrival, the reaction, and then we're getting the first high above the level. I think basically we've got ones and twos, and probably the top of the third here. We've got a fourth and a fifth to go here. And then we're going to see, I've probably drawn that too big. There's a couple of things that could occur here. There's the thing that could occur that we can go up here for 5 waves, and then we can have an A and a B and a C wave back, and keeping it small. So basically looking for a 61.8% retracement level from that low to that high here, and then you know, then moving up from that point. And then what we'll do is we'll go long from that. Well, first of all, we'll put that top in, which we can do tomorrow, and then we can put this one in. It's possible to get a bit of a larger pattern here. Say we don't get 5 waves up here, we might get like an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back over here, and then we'll have to work it from over here. But what I'm saying is, once we've got that first high in here, and then we take that high out, then we can forget about this, that wave 2. Because the other way to sort of count this up here now that we've got 5 waves here, I mean, really we'd have to look at that as, well, could we look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here, and up for 5 here? Could we do that? That's another way we'd get a bigger picture as well in all that. I mean, we would get, if that was the case of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 up here, then we would get a larger ABC pattern at that point. But that would be okay too. We could work through that. That's not a big deal. But basically what we want is, we want that in whatever happens. I mean, it doesn't make a very nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 1. You know, we can do that. You know, it can be like, you know, coming up into, you know, an ending diagonal sort of thing, and we get that 1, 2 there, and you get that sort of overlap when in that wave 1 when that occurs. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here would make, you know, a bigger wave 1 here and a bigger wave 2 to come back, and then a move up, or an A wave up here and a B wave, and so on. There's a few things that can happen, but basically we want to see this pattern here, or we want to see this pattern here, which is the other one here, where it doesn't pull back down below the level, but because we've got that high and that high, we can run with that. So then we can eliminate that, and yeah, so I just think this is, you know, yeah, I just think this is just absolutely fantastic, because it just eliminates that horrendous count that would, you know, that would put us back down at 2,000 or 1,000 or something like that. I mean, really, it would be like that. So yeah, that's fantastic. It's really good, just good. I'm very pleased about that. So I'm stoked. So okay, so onwards and upwards. So if we have a look at, let's just go back to the beginning again. We'll go back to the daily chart here and just look at a few things. So first of all, it's possible to have this here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here, and have a low in place here, right? That is possible, and we could look at this as we could look at this here in terms of, can I just copy this for a moment just to put this in? It's possible to have an A, B, and C correction in here, and in a lot of cases in the markets and the stocks, it would have to be counted down differently down here, but still can have a low in. We could look at this as wave 1 here with wave 2 here, and then we could have wave 1 and 2 here, and we could continue to move up from that point. But and you know, I think we've talked about that on the 2K tick chart. Yes, but I haven't I haven't really sort of gotten into this particular pattern too much because we've had the bearish patterns there. But the more that this gets established here, the more that we will look at this. But I don't want to get it. I don't want to lead anybody astray and think that we're going to the moon, you know. I think that we're better off at this stage. We'll certainly take the long trade when we get the setup here, having the 4,000 as the support. We'll move in on that. You know, I don't know if you remember when we're back at 2,500, which is also a medium level. We went through the same things there. We called the low in, and we looked at it all being positive, and we looked at it, and we looked at all the corrective patterns, what we're doing now. But our main point was that if we got this here as wave, as the support, then we could build in for the longer term at that point. So anyway, we'll see how we go with that. But I don't want to get too excited. This may not be the case, you know. But it's possible. It's plausible. It's possible. Is it probable? Don't know yet. So just going back again to the daily chart here. Let's bring that back in. I think from what I can see around the place, I think that we still need to look it up into the B wave here. But just on that, you know, just on the case of being bullish in the market, the stock that's probably the most bullish in the stock, there's probably, you know, I don't look at all of them, but I mean, I just look at the 10 or whatever it is that we look at every day. But this is the one that is looking the most promising in terms of bullish. We're looking, this is Apple, and we're looking at it possibly as an A and a B and a C wave down here, and we could look at all of this as wave 1. But what I'm saying here, it's already pulled up to its 50% retracement level here in the first leg, do you know? So this is the one that's leading to the upside. So this is the one that would probably you know, be the one to take out the tops, or to show the most bullish picture. A lot of them are following, and some of them are halfway up here, some of them are still down the bottom here. You know, Facebook's still down the bottom here on the low here. So there's leaders and there's followers, and there's some that are stuck in the mud like Facebook, Meta, but they'll lift as things go along, such. But anyway, that with Apple, so Apple's already at that 50% box area here, the lower end of the box. So we could look at it as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. I'm just going to remove those for the moment, and I think I think I'm better off at this point not worrying about that too much. The next step is really to see if the market can actually maintain support on top of this level here for this. So now the A wave could also go here with the B wave here for this, and have this go up as a C wave up here, push up for this C wave here, and have the B wave up here. And we can look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, because we still need to climb higher here. So that's possible. It's also possible to have the A wave over here and the B wave still to come over here with this over here. That would sort of yeah, that would work too. So there's a couple of ways we could look at it all, but I have to say it doesn't really matter at this point. All we need to do is we need to ask ourselves the question, is this price point, is the 4,000, is that a tested support yet or not? Can we go long? And as we go long, we may not know the bigger structure, but we will know that Well, if that's 5 waves in this little structure here, that means we must produce another 5 up here. So all we need to do is just stay within the 5 wave structure up here. You know, it's that kind of simple. So let's just cut from here to the 100 ticks, I think, where we sort of hang out with this a little bit and just check on this move to the upside. So in this particular instance here, I've got this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, but we're going to change that. We're going to move that out of there. We don't need these, so we'll still leave wave 1 there. We'll just get rid of these, and I need these. So we're going to put that wave 3 here. We're going to put that wave 4 here because we can see that with the NASDAQ. And we still need a wave 5 to go in, so we'll put the wave 5. The wave 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for that. So let's just put that in. So then it leaves us this particular move here in this case. So do we look at, I'm thinking that we could look at it as wave 1 coming into this space. Is that a wave 2? Yeah, we can use that. Ditch that. Now this may not be the case here just yet, but if we were just looking at it, we can look at it as wave 1 here, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, and back for the 4th wave here. So the 4th wave being at the end of the session, you know, we're going to see some sort of, I don't really know, but it'll be something like this, you know, and then we'll see wave 5 here push up. So when we get wave 5 here, then we're going to get the retest. This is the retest that we're looking for at this point. Now it could be possible that it is a wave 2 at this point, or we could have some other pattern here as well, because if this is actually as I mentioned before, there's other ways you can look at everything. If we look at this as a 3, 4, and 5 up here, then we're going to have a bigger wave 1 up here, because the wave 2 would need to correct in a bigger way. It would need to correct like this here. It would be a bigger correction. Okay, so you know, that could be the B wave here as well. Could be wave 2 or B wave, it doesn't matter. And we could have this 5 waves up here as wave A here, you know. So there's a couple of things that can go on here, so we'll just need a bit of patience to work them out. But the way that we just tackle that without, you know, with the way we can tackle it with being and getting it right, is just really working from, because we want to go long, we just start from the top. So once we've got that top in here, we've just, you know, I need to double check all of this as well, but once we've got that top, we'll see the pull down here. It may be further up, it may be lower, it doesn't really matter. But once we've got it, because this pulls down, then that becomes significant at that point. We go long above that, and then we'll have a second high to work off. And then we just have to wait. We have to wait to see if this second high here is a wave 2 rather than an A, B, C. It could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4, 5. So this move over here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. And then we get an ABC over here, and then we, you know, have to work that one, and then we come down again, and we work this one here, and then we go up again at that point. This is a pattern that we had for the stocks, which I'm still sort of, you know, still got in mind a little bit. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be a little, we'll either get it nice and simple, or it's going to be complicated. It'll probably be complicated, you know, just as chuck a spanner in the works. And so kind of expect that, and we'll see what we get. But that's it in a nutshell. So yeah, I'm so stoked that we can pretty much rule out that big bearish count. That's the news today, really, for all of this. As far as making money, well, we're getting a nice classic trading levels pattern sitting at this level here. I don't think you could ask for much better than that. It will just fall into place, and we'll just step on the elevator and go for the ride. So yeah, just a bit of patience. Don't lose money in the meantime. Yeah, and there should be more upside here for this before any of this. So that's that. So what we need to do now is we need to sort of just, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. With the NASDAQ here, we counted up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's cool, and it's pulled back here, hasn't it? You know, so now that that's popped up there, hasn't really quite taken the high out here, but we could probably assume that it will, but it hasn't yet. But we also don't have 5 waves down here as well with this, so we can remove these here, and it pulled back. So these 5 waves here have produced an ABC that's come back to the 50-60% retracement level. So I suppose, you know, I mean, looking at this here as down for 1 and back for 2 over here is just not going to work. You know what I mean? It's just too big. And here you'd probably have to go an A and a B and then an A yeah, it's just not going to do it. So it's just, I mean, I'm just very happy today. That's good. So I'll just push these out of the way, and yeah, so we can still have a bigger B wave over here. We can just expect this to push up and make another high here. We can just get rid of that wave 2. This wave A can be over here. That's not an issue, because we'll just look at it as a WXY or something, but that's not going to work either, possibly. Nah. Anyway, it doesn't really matter at this point, but we're going to take away that wave C there. We don't need that. And I'll do some work on I'll do some work on this and get a bit better understanding of it. I'll just need to sort of mull it over a little bit. And this will be the same for the Russell as well. We were looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to have a wave 2 in over here as wave C of 2. But that bearish picture's gone now as well. But we kind of knew that, didn't we? I mean, we were talking about it just wasn't looking right. None of this was looking right. I can't remember if I said to go long above this top here, or we had stops there or something, but if you're long, that's fantastic. There'll be a little bit more upside to this here. So the 850 is next at that point. And then, so from 1800 to 1900, you got 1, 2, and 3, then 5, and then 8 at that point. So a little bit messy in here, but I would imagine that we're going to see some sort of correction at this point. What is it, 10 to 8? Yeah, platform's resetting. So anyway, I'll fix this up here. So it's taken that top out now, so we can rule that wave 2 out. That's just fantastic. And platform's doing its thing. Okay, it's back for a bit. So and this is the Dow, the same thing as well. So this bear market here, we can just get rid of that, and we'll start working a larger corrective pattern to the upside. And yeah, so here it's pretty clear, isn't it? You can see 1 and 2 here and 3 here. So there's going to be wave 4 and wave 5. So that's going to pull back in, hopefully that's going to pull back in an ABC pattern here. And normally I would just buy at this situation on here, but we're just going to wait for this B wave to be taken out there, because if that's taken out, then this length here will be wave 1, and then we'll just push up to 33 and 34 and yada 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 up at that point. I'm sorry I didn't get you long above here. I may have talked about it, I can't remember, but yeah. Well, that's all fantastic. So this will have to end up being sort of a wave 1 here with a wave 2 back here. And what do we have here? This wave A here will go over to here probably. This wave B could go over to here. It'll be something like that, and we'll look at this as one here and two here, and going up for a third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave, and that will take us up for wave C at that point. You know, that looks about right to me. You know, but I just need to mull it over and get it right. So I'll do that for the next video. But yeah, you can look to be long. This should be on the 32 there. That's a bit better there. So yeah, look, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, that can pull back to the 50-60%. You could find a better way in if you wanted to, but the safe trade is on the B wave there. So alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. But yeah, I'm just happy to share good news. I mean, even though we're looking at it sort of moving lower, but we just didn't get that evidence. And anyway, when we looked at the Dow and the Russell, it just wasn't showing us bearish patterns. So it's just nice to eliminate that situation, you know. So we'll see. This can play out like this. Yeah, we'll see. Alrighty, okay. I'll give some attention to the bullish corrective side and the bullish market for stocks and indices, and I'll sort of pull all that together, and we'll be able to look for long trades. Probably going into probably Friday. Actually, today's Thursday. Thursday in a bullish market is bearish, and then shoring up in the afternoon, and then Friday, Monday being bullish. Let's see. Okay, cheers.